Number 5. Huge teeth. Without a bit of fossilized evidence, we may never have had any proof of the Megalodon at all, unless you count the 2018 Jason Statham movie, but thankfully this ferocious sea monster was leaving a lot of its teeth behind. Megalodon even translates loosely to big tooth, give you a sense of how important those things were. One of our earliest and most well-known reports and signs of life from this once impressive creature stem from a story from the British survey ship the HMS Challenger, wherein 2 teeth were collected from near the sea floor in 1875 while on a survey expedition past Tahiti. The teeth collected were illuminating. A single Megalodon tooth measures anywhere from 5 to 7 inches long. Compare that with an average great white shark tooth, which measures a little bit under 3 inches, and you start to understand where some of our fascination with the Megalodon stems from. Interestingly enough though, efforts to carbon date the teeth reveal that they were dated about 10,000 to 25,000 years ago, instead of the estimates from scientists saying the Megalodon went extinct 2.6 million years ago. Now, could this be the paper trail suggesting the Megalodon is still swimming around somewhere out there? It's difficult to properly study Megalodon fossils, as the only parts of them that fossilize are their teeth and a bit of their vertebrae. Keep note of that for the rest of the video, as the rest of them are made of mostly cartilage, like most sharks. However, their teeth are found fairly commonly, with Florida being one of the best hunting spots if you're ever looking to take home some Megalodon teeth as a souvenir, maybe make into a really sweet necklace. It's actually even the official state fossil of North Carolina. And if you're learning now that the states have fossils, you are not alone, because I did not know that every state had a fossil. Bit of a tangent, but you really should look the list up because they are not equal even a little bit. Colorado has the Stegosaurus as their official fossil, and then Connecticut has footprints as their fossil. Totally unrelated, but that just seems completely unfair. Now, while I've got you here listening to me yammering on about fossils, if you've been liking these videos, why not hammer the old like button? Helps us out a lot and costs you nothing but a little bit of finger stress. Number 4. Fish finder. Now, even though there is a great deal of evidence that the Meg is long since extinct and hasn't swam through our waters in a long time, that really has not stopped us from trying to find it. Scientists like tying up loose ends, and I know if there was even a possibility of a giant shark swimming around out there, I would like to put a pin in that. Worst case scenario, you never find the thing, and oh no, you get to take a bunch of beautiful tours of the ocean with all your scientist buddies. Best case scenario, you find proof of a once thought extinct legendary species and get heralded as a pioneer in your field, so really it's a win-win to keep hunting for it. Earlier this month, the Atlantic Shark Institute thought that they got closer than anybody else. A routine survey operation was disturbed when on the fish finder, a scan showing what looked to be a 50-foot-long titan of a shark appeared on the radar. The team thought they had finally found it for real. And I mean, can you blame them? The image that showed up on their scanner looks like the last thing you would see in a shark horror movie. The researchers, presumably frozen in fear, analyzed the scan until it started to move after 15 minutes. But before they could start writing any of their wills, their fears were put to rest when it turned out the shape was actually just a school of mackerel pulling a pretty good Atlantic prank. The team said that although the Megalodon is recorded as having gone extinct 3 million years ago, that for a few minutes they themselves were confused and thought maybe it had returned. I think it definitely says something if even the brightest scientific shark experts can be scared into thinking the Meg is real just by seeing a particularly convincing shadow while out on the water. Number 3. Whale bite. Although the Megalodon was one of the biggest creatures swimming and splashing around in its heyday, these days, our king of the ocean is the blue whale, the biggest creature in the world. Weighing as much as 10 elephants, a whale is a bit more than any shark could chew. In 2021, the carcass of a blue whale washed up on a Cape Town beach in South Africa. Locals were stumped because the whale in question happened to be missing almost half of it from a gigantic bite. Like a gigantic bite. Naturally, speculation ran wild. I mean, what could have possibly caused a bite of that caliber outside the very serious and strong scientific possibility of Godzilla munching around looking for a late night snack? Wouldn't happen to be another school of mackerel all working in tandem, would it? Or could it be our favorite elusive cryptid rearing his head, the Megalodon? Scientists and researchers were scrambling trying to find answers as to what could have caused this. The bite marks were massive, and it was unclear just from initial studies what the attacking creature was. It was covered in lacerations and bite marks all the way down to its tail. The real question though is why only half the whale got eaten? Eyes bigger than your stomach, old Megalodon, my friend? If I was a gigantic shark and I was going after a whale, the least I would do is finish all of it. Couldn't finish your whale and wasted all that good blubber. There's starving sharks who don't have any blubber to eat at all. Try and be more considerate, please. Number 2. Mega Nursery. Though the Megalodon might be renowned for its gargantuan size and prowess as a prehistoric apex predator, even terrifying mega sharks have to start somewhere small, right? Somewhere to get your little flippers and chompers some practice before setting your sights in the big open waters and big prey. Well, it's not quite an aquatic preschool, but it's the next best thing. Researchers from the University of Florida uncovered what they believe to be the world's first Megalodon nursery located in Panama. The researchers found a shallow stretch of the Gatun Formation in which over 400 Megalodon teeth fossils were collected. Most interestingly enough, though, was that the teeth in question were all greatly undersized compared to their usual finds on record, indicating that these were most likely fossils from young Megalodons trying out their training teeth and seeing how well they could bite. Mama Megalodons would go here to have their babies, and from there, the baby Megs could swim to their heart's content, picking off easy prey and getting some serious on-the-job experience before joining the workforce as a terror of the seas. It's a lot of fun actually trying to imagine a baby Megalodon. Would it be cute? I feel like it would be cute. Baby anythings are pretty cute. I mean, a baby version of a 60-foot shark might still be a little bit terrifying. Who's to say it's not just like the size of a regular shark? Should probably be careful talking about baby sharks so much, because the last thing I would want is for any of us to have to spend the rest of this video with a children's nursery rhyme stuck in our head, so we should probably press on. Number 1. Now, as I mentioned before, all the way back in point number 5 if you can remember, it's difficult to get down any research and hard data on Megalodon fossils as they were mostly made up of cartilage, you know, the stuff like your ears and nose, so they didn't leave behind a lot of bones for us to pick through. And there's a reason you don't see that many shark skeletons in museums. Now, what they do leave behind is their teeth, which are found pretty regularly, and in some very rare cases, their vertebrae. One of the best and most preserved Megalodon fossils actually happens to be these vertebrae, which are currently chilling in the Royal Belgian Institute of Natural Sciences Conservatories located in Brussels. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Now, it's here that we got some serious scientific development on the Megalodon. Recently, a CT scan of the vertebrae was able to reveal some very illuminating information. Number 1 being that sharks grow their vertebrae on in layers, just like the way trees add rings with age. So I guess the next time you and your friends all need to find out how old a shark is, just crack it open and count the rings. Please don't do that. I don't advocate for that. I mean, that's actually what they did here though. The scan had 46 rings in it, meaning the sample of the Megalodon they had collected was 46 years old. Wow, I did not know there were middle-aged sharks. I would love to see a shark midlife crisis. If there's any way that editors can get a picture of a shark with a little middle-aged goatee here, I would love that. The most concerning part is that 46 is middle age for the Megalodon, with scientists theorizing that the Megalodon could have lived for up to 100 years or more. With that age in mind, the team could use the data to determine just how large their sample specimen was, multiplying the age by a growth rate, concluding that their young Meg was 9.2 meters long, and the largest Megalodons on record being up to 15 meters long. Absolutely terrifying. The research showed that baby Megalodons would be up to 2 meters long, meaning they would be the size of a basketball player while they were still in their sharky diapers. There's the answer to the question I was asking before. I guess I didn't really want to know.
Number 5, new species? So apparently there's a new genus and species that's been found. I love it when they make announcements like this, but only with dinosaurs, you know what I mean? It also makes things way more scary, doesn't it? Scientists have discovered the remains of a mysterious truck-sized shark which swam the coastlines of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans around 20 million years ago. That's not a great white or a meg. The newly discovered species is a close relative of the Megalodon we're used to seeing, and the ancient ancestor of today's great white sharks. Perfect. A hybrid shark. That's what I'm hearing, right? Isn't there like 4 movies about this already? Like, this is Jurassic Park 5, Megalodons in New Jersey. I swear I've seen this. Like, we know where this is going. Fortunately for us, there's about 45 million years worth of a gap between all 3, leaving scientists scratching their heads on how the shark even evolved. Like, when did it die out? Or did it even die out? Could this be the new Megalodon sightings people have, but just like the new sister species? This new species has been named Megalolama paradoxodon. That's pretty sweet. There's gonna be a new metal band with that name soon, just wait. A brand new genus of its own as well. The species name, Paradox, refers to the fact that the shark emerged so suddenly in the geological record after appearing to have split from its closest relative around 45 million years earlier. A paradox. So it's like the daughter of a Meg and the grandmother of a great white. Only 5 of the species' teeth have been found in California, North Carolina, Japan, and Peru. Based on the remains, the researchers think that the shark grew to around 5 meters long, making it smaller than its relative, but still absolutely megalithic. Like almost a city bus size. Most importantly, the discovery tests our understanding of the shark family tree. Because the Megalodon and Megalolamna are so closely related, scientists are still arguing about the missing branches to said family tree. Yeah, that's horrifying, alright. Number 4, origins. Alright, let's take a deep dive here before we talk about these new fears that I've recently developed. Also, if you like what we do here on the channel, Hulk smash that like button, it really helps us out here. We like to keep it spooky around here, so let us know down in the comments what your biggest fear of the 7 seas are. If it's creepy, if it's crawly and it swims, send her over my way. Before these TikTok videos and Google Earth finds, the Megalodon was first written about in 1835 by Swiss-American geologist Louis Agassiz, who named the species Carcharodon megalodon. He was the first one. He was the OG on the case. And of course, the first megalodon teeth, such as those found by the HMS Challenger in 1873, were dated in 1959 by zoologist Vladimir Chernesky to be around 11,000 to 25,000 years old, popularizing claims of the megalodon still hiding out there somewhere. Megalodons are thought to have reached at least 20 meters in length and lived from about 23 to 2 million years ago. The Meg, however, wouldn't be known by its scientific name until the late 1990s, when scientists placed it in its own genus, Carcharodon. Some paleontologists think that the Megalodon and modern white sharks evolved within the same lineage, but now, obviously with this new species found, it's kind of throwing off the family tree a tad. Yeah, they don't know if they should put it like near the ancients or like 60 million years ago megatooth territory, or closer to what we see in the movie Jaws. So they're kind of confused. Somewhere in the middle, give or take, that's like a lot of wiggle room, you know? A lot of years there. In 2008, scientists conducted an experiment to determine the bite force of the great white shark to see what the Megalodon could have done damage-wise. The largest great white recorded could produce 18,000 newtons of force, versus the Megalodon of 180,000 newtons of force, plus all the shaking around sharks do to rip their food in half. Yeah, all of a sudden I understand the urgency of all these studies. That's horrifying. Number 3, new teeth. Okay, so I thought these things were just like hung up on a wall in a museum somewhere. Nope, they're finding these things like every day. Jonathan Valentine found his first megalodon tooth after just like 10 minutes of one of his most recent dives. The fossil hunter has found several huge fresh teeth from the extinct megalodon in North Carolina last month. Jonathan Valentine, who runs the Digging Science website, said in a recent video that his haul included a tooth that was 7 inches long and another that was 6 inches. Dude, that's the size of like your whole hand, and like one tooth. One in a mouth of hundreds. That's a big set of jaws. Megalodon tooth finds usually measure between 3 and 5 inches, but our boy here got lucky with these 2 big tooths. According to the Florida Museum of Natural History, on his North Carolina trip, Valentine explored coastlines that form bays and canals that used to be deep water ocean floors millions of years ago. Huge megalodon teeth can be found in these embayments. Florida is typically where he would explore to find megalodon teeth and ice age fossils, but these 2 giant gems were apparently laying in what was a shallow nursery during the Miocene period, where big female megalodons would come in and have their babies and then ship back out to sea. Those babies would have a variety of different foods to eat, and they wouldn't have to worry about other deep water predators being so close to shore. They'd be able to just chill out, grow humongous, and then cruise into the ocean at their own pace. Apparently these waters in North Carolina would be like a nursery and then a feeding frenzy on local whales. Yeah, Valentine said, quote, "Holy shit, that thing's huge. That thing is insane. That's a big tooth." Wow, that's a pretty good start to this trip. Yeah, I'd say so, dude. You found one of the biggest teeth ever found, and in North Carolina. Also, isn't it scary that they weren't like in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere on a ship? They were like on the shores of North Carolina. Terrifying. Number 2, bigger in the cold. A new study reveals that the very, I hope, extinct megalodon or megatooth shark grew to larger sizes in cooler environments than in warmer areas. Kinda goes against what you think when you think about sharks, right? Florida, Bahamas, Mexico. Yeah, nope. Yeah, they could be anywhere in the Atlantic or even up by the North Pole. DePaul University's paleobiology took a look through time and space at the body size patterns of the megalodon. In reality, this species is only known from teeth and vertebrae that we found from fossil records. We don't really have a good idea of what its actually girth looked like. Accepted scientifically though, the thing was at least 50 feet and maybe bigger. The new study re-examined published records of megalodon teeth along with their estimated total total body lengths. In the mid-1880s, German biologist Carl Bergman came up with a theory that larger animals thrive in cooler climates because their size, naturally, would help them retain heat more. Therefore, the bigger fish would be in the cold. I catch your drift. Walruses, whales, I get it, I get you. Seems like this at first that the impression that scientists were under was the colder the area, the bigger the animal, therefore the longer and better it would thrive. However, with new studies, it shows that mostly of the unidentified nursery areas that the Megalodon liked are all located near the equator in warmer waters, making it even smaller than possibly the ones that were swimming in the cold. It's possible that Megs were actually much smaller than the nursery's teeth found in the colder areas, making the cold therapy theory true? It's hard to tell with this creature because it swam mostly wherever it wanted. Cold, warm, it didn't care. If it was hungry, it was coming for you. The result of the university indicates that the modern climate change is rapidly accelerating marine habitat shifts to more polar latitudes in apex predators such as sharks and whales, up near really cold areas. This would also lend evidence to the specific diet of the Megalodon, which was mostly large whales, who also live in the deep dark cold. DePaul's conclusion is that not all geographically different Megalodon individuals grew to gigantic sizes equally, but the colder creatures were also much larger swimming in the cold water, ultimately securing Bergman's OG rule. Alright, so the Keys trip is back on then. Warm water for the win. They don't swim there. Or they do both. Oh. And the number 1 spot, alive? Could we have just found evidence on Sonar to prove that there's something absolutely terrifying and massive still swimming the seas? We've found teeth in recent years and last month that have been relatively fresh. We've seen Google Earth blurs signifying that the waters can be really deceiving. Now, researchers think that they caught a little glimpse at something very weird and very big. Apparently Sonar showed a 50-foot shark nearing a boat off New England waters. Shark researchers are accustomed to surprises, but the Atlantic Shark Institute was a little taken aback when something resembling an extinct Megalodon shark appeared to just swim under them on Sonar. Of course, flabbergasted after picking up what appeared to be a massive 50-foot shark-sized blurb, the sea scanners underneath the boat were fritzing. An Instagram post detailing the alleged discovery is currently making waves on a recent shark research trip. Researchers said, quote, "We were amused to see this shape appear on our fish finder for several minutes. Researchers from the Atlantic Shark Institute detected this anomaly in an undisclosed area. Unfortunately, the scientists' excitement quickly faded after the monster just turned out to be a massive monster school of fish. Whew, just sitting in the same spot for a while. Yeah, thank God." Researchers said, quote, "We waited for more of the rods to go off. However, much to our disappointment, the shape just started to transition into a large school of Atlantic mackerel that hung around the boat for about 15 minutes. That's terrifying. Yo, can you imagine just a massive murky shadow under your boat for just minutes on end not moving? Just sitting there? I'm pretty sure I would just start playing the Titanic music, you know what I mean? It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Okay, so no actual Megs caught yet, thank God, but it seems like we keep finding these remains, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but not necessarily a good thing. The cool thing, however, is each month there's more and more studies actively searching for this thing. To be honest, I hope it's gone forever. 10-foot hammerheads are scary enough, aren't they? Like eyes on the side of their heads? That's terrifying. Number 5, the HMS Challenger. Between 1872 and 1876, the HMS Challenger became the first expedition organized to gather data on a variety of ocean features, including ocean temperatures, seawater chemistry, ocean currents, marine life, and the geology of the seafloor itself. For this, a British Navy corvette was converted into the first dedicated oceanographic ship, equipped with its own laboratories, microscopes, and other scientific tools actually below deck. Sweet. Among the Challenger's expedition's discoveries was one of the deepest parts of the ocean, the infamous Marianas Trench, in the Western Pacific, where the seafloor is at least 4 miles deep, the deepest place in all of the oceans. It's now called Challenger Deep, if it's 11 miles or more down. And of course, they also found some teeth at the bottom of the ocean floor. Yeah, scary. Some big ones too. The megatooth shark, aka the Megalodon, was estimated to have gone extinct in the early Pliocene epoch, roughly 4 million years ago. Despite this, there have been reports of some pretty fresh-looking Megalodon teeth from the late Pleistocene going into the Holocene. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, this thing's probably not even dead, you know, at all. Like, we've found it in every epoch. Yeah. It has long been known that the teeth were misdated, although using invalid techniques and technology. Phew. But not that far off. So like, those were all pretty fresh teeth then, huh? Yeah. Cryptozoologists have agreed that the teeth seem to be between 11 to 20,000 years old. From another sample they had from Madagascar, scientists are still scratching their heads at these numbers. So what made it survive millions of years but then go extinct in the last couple thousand? I don't know. Not really sure if the math adds up on that one. Something's definitely fishy here. Number 4, TikTok. Thankfully for us, social media has us glued to our phones every 2 seconds of the day. Good for some things, bad for others. Great for filming UFOs and Karen's freakouts, bad for self-esteem and nearsightedness. It's a balancing act, you know? This next video and story comes from a recent TikTok video that has a ton of people in awe. Alex Albrecht, who was on board, managed to capture this eerie footage of an enormous creature as it swam near the surface, alongside and eventually under the ship, this SSF Corwith Kramer. Albrecht then shared this clip to his TikTok page saying, quote, "Sailed 6 weeks in the Atlantic, saw this big f***ing shark." Great title, dude. Why didn't Discovery Channel steal that title, you know? Right to the point. Albrecht, alongside other students on the ship, owned and sailed by the Sea Education Association, were doing a program on marine biodiversity and conservation, and sailed from the Gulf Coast of Florida up to Woods Hole, Massachusetts, which is where this Leviathan was snapped. Hard to picture a Megalodon near Boston, you know? This clip has already gone viral with more than 37 million views, and a ton of people claiming the animal is actually a huge basking shark. Oh my, okay, I thought we really found her here on this one. A basking shark though, okay. Huge one. Apparently this is the second largest fish in the ocean, first being whales, or this Megalodon creature we're after. But this shark is like 40 feet. That's like an 18-wheeler with a trailer. These fish are massive, people, and the Megalodon is apparently like twice the size of that. Yeah. 60 feet to 80 feet. That's some deep blue sea right there. Number 3, Marianas Trench. A giant shark caught on camera scouring the bottom of the Marianas Trench has sparked some debate if megalodons still exist or not. The huge shark has been seen swimming over what seems to be an abandoned shark cage, but others say the creature is nothing more than a common sleeper shark which can survive at least 2,000 meters beneath the surface. A 50-foot shark 1 mile down the Marianas Trench. Okay, that's pretty deep. If the Meg was still around, I would definitely be checking the deepest part of the ocean, since we don't really know or see that often. Many think this is a Pacific sleeper shark. Definitely looks like one, but the size here is a problem. Pacific sleepers, or Greenland sharks as they're known, only grow up to about 20 feet. The shark in this video is apparently like 50 feet long. Now that's based off a human-sized cage under its belly. I don't know. This definitely seems like the chillest megalodon I've ever seen. Sleeper shark definitely sounds more fitting. Just, you know, cruising at the bottom. Just chilling. I don't know, after watching this video a couple times, something's not adding up. Looks too old and docile to be a great white's great-grandfather, you know? Also, I don't know about these cage dimensions. Looking a little small to me. What I'm taking from this video is that sharks are chilling at the deepest part of the ocean. That's what I've learned here. That there isn't water deep enough for a shark. Also, Megs like shallower, warmer water where there's like an abundance of life. I don't know, I'm not sold. Still absolutely terrifying. The green filter makes it look like a lake too. That's horrifying and spooky. I'm calling a bust on this one though. What do you think? Number 2, Deep Blue's Sea. Divers found something. It's not a treasure, but it's a 22-foot ocean monster known now as Deep Blue. Aw, that's cute. That's a cute name. Deep Blue? I like it. She was discovered swimming dangerously close to a pair of brave divers in Guadalupe, Mexico. Deep Blue is a female great white shark that is estimated at 6.5 meters long and in her 50s. The shark was first spotted in Mexico by researcher Mauricio Padilla. Deep Blue was even featured on Discovery Channel's Shark Week. Alright, Hollywood star, you made it to the big leagues, kid. The shark was spotted by marine biologists studying tiger sharks near the island of Oahu, Hawaii. Much bigger than a tiger shark, of course, and too big to be a great white, Deep Blue is now the largest shark apparently ever discovered, and also largest to swim next to. Videos show the shark as calm and non-aggressive around humans. Yeah, I would never lead with that though, you know? Oh yeah, that shark? No, super friendly. Jump on in. The video of researchers touching and holding onto her while swimming next to her has brought on some heavy internet criticism though from shark researchers. A marine biologist criticized the behavior, saying the shark should never be interfered with, stating that it's an enormous wild predator and that repeated contact from humans can overstress the animal. Okay, she's got a good point. However, I don't think that apex predator is really stressed about anything, you know? This thing is a swimming tank. I agree though. Respect it from a distance, you know? Take some pictures, maybe a discreet sample, and then piss off. Okay, so biologists thought we finally had her, huh? Maybe found a megalodon. Nope, just a massive great white. Makes you think though. Between Deep Blue and 11,000 years ago, these monstrosities were just surfing the coasts. Think they're still out there? And our number 1 spot, bite size. The blue whale is the largest living mammal on Earth, right? Well, apparently during the pandemic we found a massive blue whale in Maui, South Africa that had washed up on shore, and the weirdest part, it was bitten in half. Oh yeah, blue whales don't eat other blue whales. So what could have possibly bitten off more than it could chew? For some numbers here, the blue whale was like 30 meters long. Yeah, that's like 4 shipping containers. The chew job was also not caused by plankton eating teeth. These were shredders. It must have been a much bigger creature to bite it in half. The mystery of the attack will never be solved as proof slowly decays, but we know that there's a shark out there at least the size of a blue whale. Further investigation has found evidence that the chomp could have been an oversized great white shark. The mystery of the incident, of course, has caused widespread interest and confusion among animal lovers and Poseidon himself. Scariest part, the shark apparently bit off the tail of the whale and then dragged it down by its face. Social media sites reported the incident. The story went viral. Some people were terrified that a creature that size could attack a whale. That size, I mean, that's the animal kingdom for you. It's ruthless. Scientists now have concluded that white sharks are now the top predators of blue whales in the southern African waters, making this just another day at the office for old deep seas buddy. Hey, fish gotta eat, right? Protein. Okay, so now we just got a really big great white swimming out there, eating whales in half. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, not a meg though. No. Just a giant great white eating whales. Again, I'm not anxious at all.